Assalamualaikum, my name is Intan Nabila. I'm student of English Literature in English Department of Pamulang University. This video is a part of Psycholinguistics study as a final test assignment, and this video I will explain about language factor. And let's the explanation. The factors that influence the acquisition of a second language. Some students learn a new language more quickly and easily than others. The simple fact is known by all who have themselves learned a second language or those who are using their second language in school. Clearly, some language learners are successful by virtue of their sheer determination, hard work, and persistence. However, there are other crucial factors influencing success that are largely beyond the control of the learner. This factor can be broadly categorized in internal and external. It is their complex interplay that determines the speed and facility with which the new language is learned. Internal factors. Internal factors are those that the individual language learner brings with him or her to the particular learning situation. Age. Second language acquisition is influenced by the age of the learner. Children who already have solid literacy skill in their own language seem to be in the best position to acquire a new language efficiently. Motivate older learners can be very successful too, but usually struggle to achieve native speaker equivalent pronunciation and intonation. Personality, introvert or anxious learners usually make slower progress, particularly in the development of oral skill. They are less likely to take advantage of opportunities to speak or to seek out such opportunities. More outgoing students will not worry about the inevitability of making mistakes. They will take a risk and thus will give themselves more practice. Motivation, intrinsic. Intrinsic motivation has been found to correlate strongly with educational achievement. Clearly, students who enjoy language learning and take pride in their progress will do better than those who don't. Extrinsic motivation is also a significant factor. ESL students, for example, who need to learn English in order to take a place at an American university or to communicate with a new English boy or girlfriend are likely to make greater efforts and thus greater progress. Experienced learners who have acquired general knowledge and experience are in stronger position to develop a new language and those who haven't. The student, for example, who has already lived in 3 different countries and been exposed to various language and culture has a stronger base for learning a future language than the student who hasn't had such experience. External factor are those that characterize the particular language learning situation. Curriculum for ESL students in particular is important that totally for their education experience is appropriate for their needs. Language learning is less likely to place if students are fully submerged into the mainstream program without any extra assistance, or conversely, not allowed to be part of mainstream until they have reached a certain level of language proficiency. Motivation extrinsic. Students who are given continuing appropriate encouragement to learn by their teachers and parents will generally fare better than those who aren't. For example, students from families that place little importance on language learning are likely to progress less quickly. Instruction. Clearly, some language teachers are better than others of providing appropriate and effective learning experiences for the student in their classroom. This student will make faster progress, and same applies to mainstream teacher in second language situation. The science teacher, for example, who is aware that she too is responsible for the students' English language development and makes certain accommodation will contribute to their linguistic development. There are five main components of creation theory. Each of the components relates to a different aspect of the language learning process. The five components are as follows: the acquisition learning hypothesis, the monitor hypothesis, the natural order hypothesis, the input hypothesis, and the effective filter hypothesis. The, the acquisition learning hypothesis. This hypothesis actually fuses two fundamental theories of how individuals learn language creation, has concluded that there are two systems of language acquisition that are independent but relate: the acquired system and the learned system. The monitor hypothesis. The monitor hypothesis asserts that a learner's learned system acts as a monitor to what they are producing. Course plan. Introduction to Psycholinguistics 5. In other words, while only the acquired system is able to produce spontaneous speech, the learned system is used to check what is being spoken. Before the learners produce an utterance, he or she internally scans it for errors and uses the learned system to make correction. The monitor hypothesis seeks to elucidate how the acquired system is affected by the learned system. When second language learner monitor their speech, they are applying their understanding of learned grammar to edit, plan, and initiate their communication. This action can only occur when speakers have able with the think about the form and structure of their sentence. The amount of monitoring occurs on a continuum. Some language learners over monitor and some use very little of their learned knowledge and are set to other monitor. Ideally, speakers strike the balance and monitor at the level where they use their knowledge but are not overly inhibited by it. The monitor hypothesis complements the acquisition learning hypothesis by claiming that the only function of learning within second language acquisition is as an editor or monitor for language use produced by the acquired system as well, so to produce grammatically from not yet acquired. The monitor allows a language user to alter the form of an utterance there prior to production by consciously applying learned rules, or after production via self-correction. In other words, The learned system monitors the output of the acquired system. Course plan. Self-correction occurs when the learner uses the monitor to correct a sentence after it is uttered. According to the hypothesis, such self-monitoring and self-correction are the only function of conscious language learning. The monitor model then predicts faster initial progress by adults than children. The adults use this monitor when producing utterances before having acquired the ability for natural performance, and adult learners will input more into conversation earlier than children. The moderator hypothesis explains the relationship between acquisition and learning and defines the influence of the latter on the former. The monitoring function is a practical result of the learned grammar. According to Krashen, the acquisition system is the utterance initiator, while the learning system performs the role of the monitor or the editor. The monitor acts in a planning, editing, and correcting function when the three specific conditions are met. The second language learner has sufficient time and their disposal to focus on the form or think about correctness. They know the rule. The natural order hypothesis. This hypothesis argues that there is a natural order to the way second language learners acquire their target language. Research suggests that this natural order seems to transcend age, the learner's native language, and the target and the condition under which the second language is being learned. The input hypothesis. The hypothesis seeks to explain how second language are acquired in its most basic form. The input hypothesis argues that learners progress along the natural order only when they encounter second language input that in one step beyond where they are in the natural order. Therefore, if a learner is at step 1 from the above list, they will only process along the natural order when they encounter input that is at the second step. And the last, the effective filter hypothesis. This hypothesis describes external factors that can act as a filter that impedes acquisition. These factors include motivation, self-confidence, and anxiety. For example, if a learner has very low motivation, very low self-confidence, and a high level of anxiety, the affective filter comes into place and inhibits the learner from acquiring the new language. Students who are motivated, confident, and relaxed about learning the target language have much more success acquiring a second language than those who are trying to learn with the affective filter in place. That's my explanation. Thank you for watching and see you for next video. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.